G'day, Simon here. This is a creepily intimate stream. I do not have my shirt on. So someone had asked to see, I think they watched that original Walking Towards Hope video from December last year. They wanted to see the contrast, so where I'm at now with the rebuilding of my body. So I apologise. This might be a little bit creepy for some, but they wanted to see how the tummy's going. There's a scar in my tummy where they had a peg feeding tube inserted, but look, this is where I'm at anyway. So you can kind of see the body's starting to reshape itself a bit. Still got some nice big old man boobies and, still carrying a bit of extra weight, but I think internal health is coming along great. So I'm really rebuilding myself. I'm about to have a spa bath actually, so you can kind of see I've just kind of, whoops, check that out. So I've been given hospitality. The Tea Gardens Motel, which is near a country club, have offered me a bed and meals. So next door at the country club, they've got a fantastic restaurant where I'm going to be able to wander over and have a delicious big lunch. So after 4 or 5 days living on these lightweight protein bars, that's a little bit awesome. And yeah, dinner as well. John says, what a great adventure. I love the daily feed. Stay safe, mate. Thank you, John. Yeah, so I'm a lot more relaxed now. I've been able to give myself an initial shower to get rid of the worst of the road dust and any leftover ticks, fleas and parasites. And now I'm just going to have a long, lovely, bubbly spa bath, which I haven't had a bath in, more than 31 days. So that's just going to be a joy. And I thought it would be worth talking just a little minute about the contrast between joy and suffering, because oops, the telly's on, because I haven't watched telly in a while either. Because see, I just did a sit-up basically, like and it's nothing. I wonder how many sit-ups I could do now. Asked me a year ago, the answer is 0. So look, in just that one simple dimension of the goals of the big walk, rebuilding of self, physical sphere, doing great. There's no comparison between me a year ago and me today. I'm jumping fences, dodging cow poo, ducking under trees, pushing through undergrowth, and that rebuilding of my physical self is going absolutely great. So my body's still, it's ravaged by cancer, and you just saw it. It's I'm getting skinnier, and that's great, but really the internal health and the strength is just coming along. And I think the toil of carrying that massive pack all this way, as stupid and as sometimes complainy sooky as it has been, it's also fundamentally helping me. It's making me stronger. So, there's wisdom in suffering and there's wisdom in toil, because it contrasts with joy. So joy and suffering are interconnected. I don't know that you can have one without the other. A constant state of joy, I don't know, that sounds insane, I suppose. You can only appreciate it when you've worked to earn it. So today I didn't earn this and I didn't deserve this. It's just wonderfully kind hospitality. So I get to have a big meal, feed the body, feed the spirit, fellowship, and I get to have a lovely bubble bath spa thing after 4 days of sleeping in the rough and living in filth and all the rest. And that's great, that's tremendous. And those two things mixed together, the toil and the joy, make them both more worthwhile. So I guess that's my learning anyway, as applies into my own life. And I'm able to extrapolate that and measure my cancer. This horrible fight that wrecked me, and look at the suffering of that. And now, the joy. It almost makes it worthwhile. So you've got this idea of a grateful alcoholic, somebody who goes to AA, pushes through all of their problems, works hard every day, and they come to the end and they start to appreciate their disease and the difficulties it's inflicted on them and the strength that it's given them. Maybe I'm coming to a place like that. I don't appreciate my cancer, and I'm not going to lie and say that cancer has gifted me with learnings, but it has put me in a place where I was so broken and so much in need that I'd reached rock bottom and I had to fix myself. So it's that, whatever it is that brings you to that place, I guess you kind of owe it a grudging nod, because that's the suffering that then contrasts into your future joy. So I go through these sort of lessons and comments, A, because I'm reaching it and I'm sharing it, but B, I just hope there's one person out there, there's that one person who is in pain, who's lost and can't find a way out. And then they can see this, they can see me fixing my broken life and just realize I'm just a goofy old buffhead. I'm the world's biggest, oldest kid dressed as a superhero, you know? So if I can do it, they can too. So that's my main reason for this sort of stuff. Diane says, cancer definitely gives perspective. Yeah, I think if you take away the word cancer and replace it with suffering and toil, I think it covers all of that. Anything that inflicts that kind of difficulty on your life does. Hi, Captain from Archer. Hey, Archer. Mate, I sent you a postcard today. I mailed it this morning. So I hope you get it. It got a little bit bent and scuffed and mixed up, mate. I'm sorry. Because I went bashing through jungle and up sand dunes and all over the place. So the postcard got a little bit damaged, but I sent it this morning and you should get it in a few days. So I hope you like that, mate. And when I get to another pretty town, I'll get you another one and I'll send it to you, okay? So it's lovely to see you, Archer. Yeah, I've got my shirt off. Don't be freaked out. So I'm about to have a spa bath, which will be such an incredible joy. You know, I'm postponing that moment of bliss to just do another stream because I haven't been streaming as regularly or as, you know, with as much vigor and effort as I should have been, knowing that you're out there. Anyway, so I have hospitality from this lovely motel, the Tea Gardens Motel, and it's right next to a country club, and I'm going to go there for some lunch, and I'm going to get some laundry done. You have no idea how bad my uniform pongs right now. So I've got it spread out on the floor there. You can see there's my boots. There's my uniform, the two of them, the blue weather one and the green military Santa one. There's my bag over there. So that uniform, oh, it smells like a kangaroo got in it and died, and the last thing the kangaroo had eaten was, they don't eat meat. I was going to say like another animal, and it was in there, and it had died, and the last thing it had eaten was like garbage, and it's just like layer upon layer upon layer of pong. So I'm going to be so happy to get that in the laundry and put it out for a dry, so tomorrow I can continue unstinky. The arms and stuff, there's a few tears and rips on my uniform now, but I still have hopes of making it to Melbourne. It's like I will make it to Melbourne. I have hopes that the uniform won't fall to pieces before I make it to Melbourne. The boots are starting to lose a bit of their wear, but they've come a long way, and I still have hopes that they'll make it all the way to Melbourne as well. Kaz says, good to see you got a comfy sleep tonight, Captain. Thanks, Kaz. Yeah, very comfy indeed. Andrea says, I chose you from the world to go forth and bear fruit that will last. John 15:16. Okay. Well, I don't know if that applies to me. You're definitely making an impact. Stay safe. Okay, well, I just go back to that Hebrew thing that if you save but one life, you save the world entire. So I move forward in the hope that I could help a little person like you, Archer, or that there's someone out there in need of healing, in need of going through the same process that I'm going through now, who can see it and think, wow, look at what that big buffet did. I'm going to do something too. Have you got spare shoes if these die? Diane asks. A short answer, no. I've got a pair of sandals that I whack on if the weather is just too saturated wet, because when you've got the boots and socks on, the blisters and the damage that can be done is really nasty. Yeah, so if those boots do die, and I don't think they will, they're still holding up, I'll source, like, in any major hub, I'll be able to get a pair of walking boots or something. But those ones, they're part of the uniform, you know, the iconic Captain Australia, never gonna fail you, run over the hills and save you. You know, they're boots, they're good, proper army boots, and they're the same colour as the fingerless gloves, and, you know, style over substance. But these have style and substance. Look, I'll give you a look. So they are very sturdy boots. So, well, let's go over here in the light. Oi, 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 oi. So you can see, like, they're good military boots. and the grip here is thick. It's worn down underneath and it's covered a lot of miles, but you can see there's still even a good solid tread here on the front. And even though it's worn down on the back, I reckon that's still got a good ways to go before it completely carks it. Kelso says, hey Captain, you're true. Oh crap, did I just... Oh yeah, there you go, you see. There was a dead sexy moment in the mirror there, completely by accident. Yeah, okay, so all good, boots are good, everything's good, mood is good, spirits are high, and after a wash and a feed, yeah, I think I'll be going great guns. So tomorrow I jump on a ferry. Tomorrow's Australia Day. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. So I hop on a ferry. I guess I'll be going through Nelson Bay. I'll put up my big flag and I'll have a clean uniform. So I'll wander around shaking hands and making friends. So yeah, that'll be nice. You know, Australia Day. Maybe I'll get on the telly or something if they've got people around covering Australia Day. Still, it would have been nice to hit Sydney in Australia Day. Oh, they're doing some mowing out there. I hope you can still hear me. Would have been nice to get on the telly in Australia Day, and you know, suddenly have international media sensation Captain Australia. I'm just not smart enough or good enough at the social media stuff to whip up that kind of frenzy. Instead of these just honest, let's have a conversation, I need to be doing weird jackass type stunts and stuff, I reckon. Best I can do is those daily dares of doom. I'm all up to date on them except for finding the one with the flamingo. You deserve to be on TV tomorrow, says Kaz. Well, you know, we've hit the telly a few times, and I think as I roll into Sydney, that's the halfway point, and I'll have come some distance. And you know, the fact that I'm just an old man, and I'm trying to do a good thing, I think and hope that might be something that the TV stations might jump onto. And it's not for my benefit. You know, if I had my way, I'd just quietly go back to my life after all of this, and just, you know, I don't need to be followed around by cameras and stuff. But you know, every time there's a little bit of media attention, the pulse for the charity is tremendous. So it translates to, you know, that project story. There was $15,000 in donations that very night. You know what I mean? So the Today Show stories, 10 grand. Those mornings. So all of the slog of walking and saying good day to people and all of the rest, that's the real human connection, and I make friends and people jump on board, and I love it. And there are people who are still watching now, you know, like Jai and Jules and all these people that I've met along the way that are great, but the reaching of a mass audience, that's through those TV stories. So if your Uncle Freddie works at a TV station, give him a bell and say, no, Uncle Freddie, it's a good story, Uncle Freddie. Give him the nuts and bolts of it. Old man with cancer walks from Brisbane to Melbourne to save the world, you know. Oh, you got some comments, sorry, scroll back. Joanne says, you might get to be in the local paper for Nelson's Bay. Oh, we can only hope. Suzanne says, we'll hopefully see you when you pass through Newcastle. Yeah, if anybody wants to meet me, drop me a message on Facebook Messenger and I'll do my best to make it happen. Kaz said, mate, I've said since Boxing Day you're a bloody legend. Thank you, Kaz. Bloody legend indeed. That's what the emblem on my chest should be. Not a flamingo, just a bloody legend. Doesn't have to be an icon like a boomerang or a, you know, Aussie flag or anything. Just bloody legend. Love it. That's just so Aussie. Okay, so I am now comfortably sitting, completely naked, save for a towel, on a hotel bed, very old man creepy, and I'm going to go and get in that spa, and I am going to, oh, my back after that bag so long. See, even the advanced considering of the pleasure and the joy of it, it drives me into like this frothing frenzy of how good it's going to be. So, and that's joy, you know, contrasted with a bit of suffering and a bit of toil. So, you know, if you're struggling, you have to have the hope to start working to fix yourself. But when you do the work, it just amplifies every pleasure that follows, my friend. So anyway, Joanne agrees with Kaz. He sure is. Well, thank you. Thank you all so much for your support. I am hugely grateful. I'm going to go have that spa now. I cannot delay my gratification any longer. I am going to turn that bad boy on and just half an hour of bubble jets all over my sore old man body, ravaged by cancer, but being rebuilt. So, it's self-repair. The big walk is for the Kids Cancer Project, and that's the fundamental. But aside from that, it's about self-repair and helping just share that experience with people. So the self-repair dimensions of it, it's every sphere that makes a human being. So my physical self, intellectual, spiritual, emotional, ethical, rebuilding all of that stuff. And the physical toil, it's working. It's working. So I said I did a sit-up before when I leaned back to get the remote control. I don't know how many sit-ups I could do now. Probably a good 10, 50, 100, I don't know. But before, a year ago, halfway up, no, I give up. You know what I mean? So all of this toil is helping me rebuild physically, and that's great. And although it's harder to quantify, the other spheres, the emotional, physical, spiritual, yeah, I'm letting go of grief. I'm thinking about how I want to live my life going forward. And then that leads to the ethical, rebuilding who I want to be as a human being. So we got a comment. Amy says, I was hoping to say hi when passing through Newcastle, but now in isolation till Saturday due to me having COVID. Oh, sorry, Amy. You'll be passing through by then. Yeah, I'm not too distressed by COVID, but I don't want to get caught in a isolation loop. If I get stuck in that, I'm in some pretty deep problems. So when I have to check in to use a store or whatever, I actually scout around a little bit who's been through the store, and just I'm shit out of luck. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I'm out of luck if I one of those places gets somebody through, and I just have to hope that it's not in close contact enough with me that I'm forced into isolation. Because how do you isolate when you've got a tent and a tarp? I said tent, I didn't mean tent, I meant tarp and a hammock. I'll just go in the bush somewhere and pitch the hammock and stop walking. And I guess I don't want to be that typhoid Mary that carries disease all down the eastern seaboard. So I want to be responsible, I want to do the right thing, I want to follow public health orders, but I don't want to get caught in this sort of isolation loop. So I'm being pretty prudent and careful in that respect. Amy, it would have been lovely to have met you in Newcastle. If there's a way to do that through a glass window, happy to give it a crack. But yeah, so Shane says, keep up the great work, enjoy your rest, mate. Thank you, Shane, I will. I got to go get in that spa before the water cools down. Run a bit more hot water in there and just dissolve. I'm just going to dissolve. I will become the bubbles in that spa for a while, I'll just be, I got to go. Yeah. So look, thank you so much. I'll stream again tonight, and I'll look to have one of these nice little chats. So if anybody has any questions about what's been going on while I was in the Service Bermuda Triangle, please, yeah, hit me up tonight and we'll have a little chat, hey? All the best, wish you well, thank you for your time and interest. It's Captain Australia's Big Walk, and I'm walking from Brisbane to Melbourne for a charity called the Kids Cancer Project, and also for my own healing, as I am a stage 4 cancer survivor. Joanne says, enjoy, you deserve it, Simon. Well, thank you so much, Joanne. Enjoy is like the least possible word that we could use to describe what's about to happen, This is like the young virgin gets into bed and makes love for the first time, I'm so excited to get into that spa and the joy that waits for me. Oh my God. So, and again, suffering it can be the soil from which joy grows, So don't give up. If you're suffering, don't give up. Okay, I gotta go. See you later. Thanks so much.